You're listening to the Accunet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian Wickert and David Wickert.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Mr. British over there. Hey, so there always are articles, continuing article after article after article saying, boy, credit's too tight. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. But we didn't get around to first-time buyers in particular. And I got to tell everybody, we have a terrific new web page at Accunet.com under the Buy a Home section. And you click on that menu, and then you'll see first-time buyers. And then there's a menu for Wisconsin first-time home buyer programs. And so we just thought we'd take the opportunity, because the biggest myth out there that people carry around in their head is, oh, I have to have a fill-in-the-blank, 10% down payment, 20% down payment, 5% down payment. And the good news is that for Wisconsin home buyers, David, what's the lowest down payment?
The lovely number of 0.
0? All right, so we're going to start out with that one. We've got 5 or 6 maybe options for you real quick that we're going to compare. So let's start with door number 1. The best program ever for first-time buyers in Wisconsin is
the first-time homebuyer program through WIDA. If you are, I'm going to use Waukesha County as an example. If you have household income of less than $72,400, WIDA will allow you to purchase a home with 0% down, with no monthly PMI, at a rate of 4.375.
Wow.
Today. The APR is 4.43.
Okay. And so what kind of a payment would that be, David, on a $200,000 home purchase? And, by the way, we're going to throw in their Easy Close Second, and WIDA stands for Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority. And this is just a plain old-fashioned 30-year fixed-rate loan, Dave.
Yes. That's a payment of about $1,414.
All right. So
all in.
All in, that includes a first mortgage for 97% of the purchase price, a second mortgage for 3% of the purchase price. Do you have right on there how much other cash would they need for putting property taxes, and what did you use for property taxes?
I used about $4,000 a year in property taxes.
Okay.
You'd have to come to the closing table with about $3,000.
3,000 American dollars is all it would take. And guess who can pay for that?
The seller.
The seller. So there's our best program.
And even just one remove from that, even if you're not a first-time home buyer, or if you make a little bit too much income, WIDA offers just a conventional loan. You can make up, if you're just two people, $83,260. The only offset is it's a 0.5% higher in rate, but hey, you're making $11,000 more a year.
All right, what does that do to the payment?
The payment goes up by about $60.
$60. So if you qualify for their super cool first-time buyer program, 0 down and a payment of
totals $1,473.
This is if you don't qualify for that income first. Mm-hmm. So it's related. WIDA has 2 different programs that we have available. One, if you're a bona fide first-time buyer, right, and you make this certain income limit. What if you have a baby? What if it's a 3-person household?
Yeah, if you have a baby and you're a first-time home buyer, you can make that $83,000.
Okay.
If you're not a first-time home buyer and you have 3 people in your house, you can make north of $97,000 a year.
All right.
And still qualify for WIDA.
So I would say the only hitch in the WIDA giddy-up is no condos. Got to be single family or a duplex. All right, let's move on. What's our third best first-time homebuyer program?
All right, the third best is Home Ready, which is a program from Fannie Mae that allows folks to put 3% down, so long as they meet the income limits of their specific census tract.
Ooh, down to the census tract level. So the WIDA is income limits based on the county that you live in. The Fannie Mae Home Ready program is income limit based on the census tract, which is even a subset of a zip code.
Correct. So in Waukesha County, for most of Waukesha County, the maximum is $72,400. There are patches in downtown Waukesha where there is no limit.
Okay.
And that's also true in some patches of Milwaukee County as well.
All right.
And so for monthly PMI, we could offer 3.875% with an APR of 4.51. That's a monthly payment of about $1,446 per month.
Okay, so the difference here is you got to come up with a 3% down. But wait, could that come from a gift from a family member?
You bet.
And could the seller cost be paid by a seller?
Yes.
I mean other closing costs?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So 3% down on this, right? So there's our top 3. WIDA first-time home buyer program, WIDA anybody, just the income limit, and then Home Ready with an income limit. When we come back, we'll give you our next 3 best first-time low down payment programs after this break.
And if you have a question, you can text it or talk it in, call it in on the Accunet Mortgage Talk and Text line at 414-799-1620.
Home buying advice from the guys who know it best. This is the Accunet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian Wickert on 620 WTMJ.
Well, Foxconn executives could decide in the next 2 weeks whether Wisconsin will land up to 10,000 jobs, and one of the people likely to be at the negotiating table is Racine's new mayor. He joins John McCure at 5:20 tomorrow during Wisconsin's afternoon news. Brian Wickert and David Wickert with us here on the Accunet Mortgage and Realty Show.
So I just want to emphasize, so we just gave our top three first-time home buyer low down payment options. And I just want to emphasize that this is why it's important to talk to a licensed, well-trained loan consultant at Accunet, because we're literally walking through 6 different ways we can cook this chicken, depending on where you fit, depending on down payment and income and all that jazz.
That's right.
This is the progression a loan consultant goes through in their mind when they're having that conversation with you on, like, how many dollars do you have that you want to make to a down payment? What is your income? Let's try to fit within the box.
Correct.
For any of these programs.
And I want to point out one other thing. So the WIDA first-time program is restricted to first-time homebuyers. Then when you move up to the anybody at WIDA, you can still do 0% down even if you're a repeat buyer.
Correct.
You just can't own any other real estate at the time of closing.
And
the Home Ready is not restricted to first-time homebuyers either, but works really well for it. And on the Fannie Mae Home Ready, and these are all 30-year fixed-rate loans we're talking about, the Home Ready works with a condo. All right.
Yeah.
What's our number 4, Dave?
Can I also just say you regain your first-time homebuyer status if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years?
Correct. So let's say you owned a home with your spouse, you got divorced, you've been renting for 3 years. Shazam!
You are a first-time homebuyer again.
There you go.
So the fourth best, and I actually think this might be the third best option, is Home Ready no monthly PMI.
Oh, okay.
So you can put 3% down. And as I describe it to folks, hey, if you want to avoid the dirty monthly PMI, we can do that. It's just an offset in rate.
Okay.
So I've got someone lined up with 700 credit, and at the close of business on Friday, we could have done 4.75%.
Sounds high, Dave.
With a APR of 4.78. But the payment, because you're avoiding the $150 in monthly PMI, the payment is $13.95 a month.
Whoa. Okay, so we got 3% down for this mythical $200,000 sample home we're looking at. You got $200,000, and on the Home Ready with no PMI, the total payment is
$13.95.
Okay,
$50 less per month.
And the Home Ready with monthly PMI was
$14.46.
Ooh, okay. And then the WIDA, not a first-time home buyer, was
$14.73, so $33.
But that's with zero down. So we just
Correct.
went from 3% to 0 when we shifted over to the WIDA.
Yep.
And the WIDA first-time home buyer was
$14.14.
All right, so we're really close to this $1,400 range. Parents, grandparents out there, you know, if you've got a millennial who's thinking, boy, I wish I could buy a home, but I need to have $20,000. You don't. All right. What's our next one quick before the news?
So number 5 is classic FHA. 3.5% down. Uncle Sam making sure everything's okay. Rate is very attractive, 3.75%.
Oh my goodness.
But you got your mortgage insurance, government mortgage insurance, for the life of the loan, or as long as you keep it. So the APR is 4.795. That payment's only $14.29.
Okay, and that does not go good with condos. FHA has very few condos that they've approved. And good if your credit score isn't so terrific.
Correct.
Same thing with the WIDA, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's our last one?
It's just regular.
Regular.
So you can make all the money in the world.
You can make $500,000 a year.
Correct, and you can still do 3% down if only one of the two people is a first-time home buyer. So if you're married and your spouse previously owned a home but you never have,
okay,
you get to do 3% down.
All right. Other little nuances with WIDA. The income limit applies to anybody who's living in the home. With Home Ready, it's just whoever is signing the note.
Yeah.
So you could, kind of play that game, which we're really good at. And then FHA, no loan limits.
FHA does have a loan maximum.
Not loan limit, income limits.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the bottom line, Steve, is you need a trusted guide. We have this cool table now at Accunet.com that summarizes these programs. But really the best thing to do is call us up, let us guide you through